using, oh, cool. Thank you for recording. I would have forgotten on that one. So you're going to need a letter ball of some sort. So I'm holding up a ball. It's a squishy ball. I also have a tennis ball with sharpied letters or numbers on it, preferably an even number of letters, even number of numbers, and an even number of odd versus even, and an even number of vowels versus consonants, if you have that. If you don't have that, you can use a ball-shaped object of some sort. You can use a rolled up pair of socks, preferably something with an interesting pattern for your eye to look at. That's when we get into more of the visual work. Something easier for you to grip. So a letter ball of some sort, and then 2 pencils or 2 cooking utensils or something that's easy for you to hold in each hand. Alrighty. Make sure I've got all of that. Awesome. And then just as a couple of reminders for this class, especially when we get into some of the visual vestibular work, to always listen to your own body. If you feel dizzy or nauseous or itchy eyes, watery eyes, tired eyes, anything in that category, know that that's okay. It just means that you've met your edge. So we want to meet your edge. We don't want to go too far past the edge. So you can always close your eyes, take a break, grab some water, anything that you need to just calm the nervous system back down. And moving slow, especially when we jump into some of that visual and vestibular work. Okay. So I'll have you come back to a seated or standing grounded position of some sort. Make sure you can all see me here. Okay. Okay, we're going to start with some of that breath work again. But let's just do a few shoulder circle rolls. Just noticing how your body's feeling. Maybe moving your neck side to side. If you're standing, maybe shaking the legs out. And then I just want you to find that opposite twist and tap. Swinging your arms so that your opposite knuckles tap your low back with each swing. If you're standing, let your hips move with you. You can let your feet move with you as well. And again, just noticing how the spine is feeling, how your neck is feeling, how your shoulders are feeling. Okay. And then quieting the body down, coming back to a still position. And we're going to work with that same box breathing that we've been working with. We'll do this for maybe 1 or 2 more weeks, and then I'm going to switch the kind of breathing that we're doing just to introduce new ways of breathing patterns and breath work into the repertoire here. So just as a reminder for the box breathing, we inhale for 4 seconds, we hold for 4 seconds, we exhale for 4, and then we hold for 4. Okay, so feel free to close the eyes if you'd like. Sometimes that helps people drop into their breath more. And I'm just going to count you off here. So when you're ready, you're going to take a nice slow inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. And hold, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, and hold. Inhale, hold, exhale, and hold. One more. Inhale, hold, exhale, and hold. Good. Go and take an inhale. You can keep your eyes closed. Just resume to normal breathing. Try to stay with nasal breathing if you're able to. And then just finding a body scan, especially of your torso right now. So, how does your breath feel? How easeful or not does that whole area feel? Diaphragm, rib cage, low back, low belly. And then how does your chest feel? Do you feel any constriction in certain places? Does one shoulder maybe feel more rolled forward than the other shoulder? How does the area in between your shoulder blades feel? Can you even sense that area, or is it kind of hard to drop into? And then lastly, how does that low back feel? Go ahead and set your intention for class today. We'll take one more inhale, one more exhale, and we'll open the eyes. Good. Okay. We're going to bring, if you're able to open your hands, we're going to bring fingertips together as if you were plotting an evil plan. Okay. If you're not able to bring fingertips together, you're going to just squish either your knuckles or your fingers together in any way that's accessible for you. Okay. If you're doing the evil plotting finger way, I want you to take the tips of your fingers and press them into each other. Pinkies press, ring fingers press, middle fingers press, pointers press, thumbs press, and then working your way back down. And you're just kind of going kind of quickly, almost like a piano. Thumb to pinky, pinky to thumb. If you're pressing your knuckles together, you're just doing the same thing, but you're kind of rolling from your knuckles from the thumb side to the pinky side, just putting some pressure anywhere through the fingers, anywhere through the knuckles. Yeah, as I've said before, we have a lot of meridians in this area, but this is also just a good way to wake the hands up all the way through the ends of the fingertips. Good. And then squishing the palms together, coming to a prayer position, whether your hands are open or closed, and just getting a wrist stretch. So pushing that prayer position down, so pushing your wrist down towards the floor. Yep. And then you're going to flip your hands, so bringing the knuckles together. If you can lie the backs of the fingers against each other, so this is just an opposite prayer position. Yeah. And now you're pulling the wrists up. I don't get very far here. So your fingers are still pointed down. My knuckles and the backs of my fingers are touching. And I'm just trying to slide up. Yeah, yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and shake the wrists, shake the arms. And then you're going to make a fist if you're able to, and just find a few wrist circles. Yep, switch directions. I'm going to do a full joint warm up today before we jump into things. Okay, and then I want you, if you're able to move hands and fingers, you're going to make it kind of a wave like motion from your wrists through your fingers, like your hands are doing the wave. If that's kind of challenging for your hands and fingers, you're just going to do that more from your wrists. So just a wave, pulling the wrists up, pulling the wrist down. Yeah, and really exaggerating that, spreading the fingers and waving through. Spreading and waving through. There we go. Okay, good. Go ahead and give one more shake. Okay, you're going to give me a stop sign signal on one of your hands. Okay, again, if we're doing this from the wrist, you're just going to hold that stop sign position. Taking the other hand, fingers are going to be lifted or spread if you can, and you're pulling the fingers back towards you or the knuckles back towards you. Preferably elbow is straight because it gives you more of a stretch through the wrist and the hand. But if you're not able to do that, just holding that stop sign signal is good. That will give you a little bit of a stretch and some work through the top of your forearm. Now I'm going to have you turn your fingers down. So palm is forward, fingers are down. Again, pull your fingers back towards you. Or if you're unable to pull, you're just trying to, excuse me, you're trying to do that manually. Holding that position. And then shaking that hand out. Okay, good. Other hand comes forward. Give me the stop sign signal. Fingers are spread if you're able to. So palm is forward, fingers are up. Pull the fingers back. Elbow is straight. And just holding that. Yeah, or just holding the stop sign signal. Good. Turn, so palm is still forward, but fingers are facing down towards the ground. Pulling the fingers back, or again, just manually trying to do that yourself. Good. And then give one more shake. Okay. Coming to the elbows. So I just want to first bring attention to the elbows. So I just want you to take one of your hands or your knuckles, rub the other elbow, just bringing some heat to that area. And then I want you to rub your elbow pit. So it's what I call the inside of your elbow. And then coming to the other elbow, giving that area a rub. And then giving the elbow pit a rub. Okay, and then you're going to work your way down from your elbow to your hand, doing some compressions. I squeeze the top of my forearm, I release. I move down a half inch. Squeeze, release. Move down a half inch. Squeeze, release. Squeeze, release. Squeeze, release till I get to the wrist, and then I start over. If you're unable to grab your forearm, I just want you using your hand like a soft fist and pressing into the top and the inside of your forearm. So you're doing the same thing. You're giving those compressions. You're just doing it from a closed hand instead of an open hand. Yeah, as if you were like trying to get all of the toothpaste out of the tube. Nothing annoys me more than trying to get the very, very last squeeze of toothpaste out of a tube. Okay, good. Go and switch sides. And you're just noticing how this is feeling. Are there some areas that are tender for you? If you find yourself in front of a screen, whether that's a phone or a laptop or maybe driving, ooh, that was sensitive. This area can be really tender here. It's really good to give this area some love. Okay. Go ahead and shake that out again. We're going to bring, let's actually do just one at a time. So let's take left hand. Make sure I'm doing this right. Yeah. Left hand grabbing the back of the neck. Okay. Knuckles or open hand. I'm going to have you look to your right. So just your head and your neck are looking to your right. I'm going to turn my head to the left. And as I do that, I'm going to slide that hand down in front to the front of my neck, finishing with my hands at the base of my collarbone. And now my head is turned to the left. Okay, so again, grab the back of your neck, look to your right. As you look to your left, grab the neck and pull down to your collarbone. And then reset. Grab the back of the neck, look right, look left, traction that neck as you pull to your collarbones. Do one more like this. We're moving across a part of your neck called Erb's Point, which just houses some of your nerves that come in between two of the muscles in your neck. So this is just a nice way to help free up some of that area. I'm not sure who Herb was, but I'm going to make a wild guess that he found that point in your neck. Okay, switching sides. So grabbing with your right hand, grabbing the back of your neck, look to your left. As you look to the right, pull your hand down, across your neck to the front collarbone, and then release and reset. Looking left, turning and looking right as you grab and pull. Yeah, and just keep moving through this one at your own pace. Try to keep, and I'm not doing a good job of this myself, try to keep your chin parallel with the floor. Some of you are tilting your head up a little bit. Try to keep the head nice and level. Yeah, and I just want you to do a couple more here. There we go, that looks a little better. If anything gets burny or tingly, back off. Yeah, good. And then relax. Awesome. Let's do some head and face work here. Taking your fingernails, go ahead and give yourself a really amazing head scratch up over the top of your head, all the way around. As you do this, I'm going to have you find a hum. Let's just do 2 hums today. So take an inhale, lips will stay closed in through your nose, and then exhale. When you get to the end of the hum, just do one more. And when you get to the end of that hum, go ahead and release everything. Just notice how everything is feeling. Yeah. And then we're going to bring fingertips or knuckles to just under your cheekbones. And this is really gentle. This tapping is very, very gentle. But just tapping that area, going from your cheekbones, down your jaw to your chin, and then back up again. Staying more in the soft tissue side. If you feel like you're on bone, maybe move off of the bone. Our faces love to be touched. We have many cranial nerves that innervate the muscles of the face is superficially here. So this is a really direct way to access some of those cranial nerves and therefore to help calm the nervous system and reset everything. I'm gonna have you come to just over your eyebrows, finding that same tapping. Feel free to close your eyes for this one. And then you can walk that tapping up your forehead and all around your forehead. Try to avoid your temples here, so the sides of your head, and just stay on your forehead, working from your forehead to your eyebrows. And if you find a spot that feels really good to stay on, you can stay on that spot. Otherwise, just moving your fingers around, keeping this very, very gentle. Okay, good. Last thing, I'm gonna have you take your middle fingers if you're able to, otherwise your knuckles will do, to the inside corners of your eyebrows. And you're gonna, again, gently press and hold in a upwards and inwards direction. Okay, so I'm kind of tractioning, I'm almost like I'm pushing my fingers towards each other. Again, this is gentle, and you're just holding there. Yep, breathing into that, eyes can be closed. And then release. Awesome. Okay, let's bring that tapping into the full body. Oh, sorry, I always hit my microphone on that first one. Okay, so pick a shoulder, any shoulder. We'll just do a quick tap, working down the outside of the arm, going all the way out through the hand, and then coming up through the inside of the arm. You can get the front of the chest. Make sure you hit the top of the shoulder. Go ahead and do that arm 3 times. When you've done that 3 times, you can come across the chest, do a gorilla pound, stick your tongue out. Good. And then coming over to the other side, tapping down the outside of the arm and up the inside of the arm. Noticing how the 2 sides feel comparatively for you today. Does it feel different from other days? Does it feel better? Does it feel more tender? Yeah. And then when you've done those three times through on that side, we'll bring hands to the bottom of the rib cage, hands or knuckles. And hands are going to be kind of in the back part of the ribs. I'm going to have you trace the outline, moving your hands from the back of the ribs all the way to the front, tracing that bottom outline. Finding your breath as you do this, moving the hands or the knuckles from the back to the front, noticing if there's any tender spots. Good, just do that one more time. And then we're gonna move right into the lower body. We'll work tapping down the outsides of the legs and then up the insides of the legs. You can give the feet a rub. And just as a reminder here, you can use an open hand, a soft fist. You can even use karate chop hands. You could do more of a rub. Whatever tactile sensation feels best for your body, and it might change depending on the part of your body you're on, that's what I want you to use. Okay. Make sure you get the tops of the legs and the bottoms of the legs. Behind the knees, if you can reach it, it's a very tender area. And then in front of the knees, rubbing your kneecap and around your kneecap. Okay. If you can safely access your feet, your bare feet, feel free to slip your socks and shoes off. You can take one of your feet. I'm just going to have you start with finger and toe weaving today. So weaving your fingers in between your toes and finding a wave-like motion through your hand to help mobilize your toes and the forefoot. You can also give each toe a little bottle cap twist, working your way from pinky to big toe. For those of you where it's hard to reach your feet, you have a couple of options. You can either stay above your ankles, working, so I'm pressing my knuckles into my ankles up to my knees. So I'm massaging ankle to knee, trying to press some of that stagnation out of my lower leg. I can use my knuckles, I can use an open hand. And if that is hard to reach, you're going to stay on your upper leg, massaging from your knee up to your hip. Getting the outside of the leg, the top of the leg, the inside of the leg. Okay, so whatever you're able to reach, working on the feet, working on the calves, or working on the upper legs. And then go ahead and switch sides. Again, working on the feet, working on the calves, or working on the upper legs. Trying to press some of the stagnation out of the lower leg, or bringing a little bit more awareness to the feet. Or trying to break up some of the tightness and restriction you might be feeling in quads or anywhere in the lower body. And whether or not you have sensation in these areas, the work that you do here is still beneficial. Always good to not ignore any part of the body, even if the sensation isn't great. Okay, how we feeling? Okay, let's go right into letter ball. I want to leave a little bit. I'm going to put my socks back on because my feet are cold. Okay, so go ahead and grab your letter ball or your ball-shaped object of some sort. We'll go right into playing normal letter ball. So if you've played with me before and you know what you're doing, then go ahead and go right into playing. If you're new, I'm going to talk you through. So holding your letter ball or your ball-shaped object of some sort. I'm just seeing what people have. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, Vicky, that's good. That'll work. Yeah. So you might want to put some, and you don't have to do that now, but you might want to throw some letters or numbers on there after class, because it will make more sense with what we're doing. Okay, so for those of you who are new, I'm just going to walk you through this. So holding the ball into your chest, you're going to pull the ball away from your body at any angle you want to. You're going to look at the ball, say the first letter or number you see. If you don't have letters or numbers on your ball, I just want you to pinpoint your eyes to a very precise point on the ball. Maybe it's a smudge, maybe it's a nick, something like that. And then you're going to pull the ball back into your chest. You're going to move the ball away from you at a different angle around your body, and you're going to do the same thing. Look at the ball, say the first letter or number you see, pull it back into your chest. And you're just going to continue to do that, moving that ball around your body, making sure you look at the ball, saying the letter or number, or locking your eyes on a precise point on the ball. If you're able to play catch with yourself, throwing the ball around you, again, just locking your eyes on the first thing that you see, then you can do that too. You can also bounce it against the ground. I'm using a deflated ball because I work with a client who has one dominant hand that she can catch with, but because she's only catching with one hand, I deflate the ball so she could still grab onto it. So if you're working with an inflatable ball, that might be a nice trick for grip. Yep, and you're just moving it around, catching it, making sure that you're not catching it in the same place every time. Remember, so can you catch it above head? Can you catch it to the side of your body? Can you catch it down to one side, down to the other side? Yeah. Nice, everybody. That looks good. Let's maybe do 10 or so more throws. Barbara, you almost had that one. Balls are going everywhere. Okay. When you've done those 10 or so throws, I'll have you come back to the center. Okay, so holding that ball, either using one or both of your hands, whatever makes sense for you, you're going to keep head facing forward. For folks who are blind or visually impaired, stay with me. I'm going to give you something slightly different. So head stays pointing forward, and I'm going to pull that ball out to my left. Without moving my head, I'm going to make sure I can see the ball. So I'm having to pull the ball back in so I can see it without moving my head, and I'm going to pull it back in. I'm going to move the ball out to my right, quickly look, first letter number I see, and pull it back in. So I'm just moving the ball at head height to the left and to the right, but I'm not letting my head move, just my eyes are moving. But I'm trying to challenge my eye range of motion. Okay, now can you do the same thing, but can you start to find angles all over your body? So up above your head, down below, but now we're just not moving the head at all. Okay, if it's hard for you to lift your arms, remember you can always use objects around the room. You can use something on the floor, you can use spots on the ceiling. You can use one hand if you've got one dominant hand instead of switching hands and using the other hand. Yeah. Okay. For folks that are blind or visually impaired, I'm going to have you hold the ball out in front of you, straight arms, and I want your nose to stay lined up with that ball. You're going to draw a big circle, keeping your nose on that ball a big circle just directly in front of you. So not around you, but directly in front of you. And I want your nose and your body to stay lined up with that ball the whole time. Maybe do 10 or so circles in each direction, keeping the nose and everything centered square with that ball. 10 or so in each direction. Yeah. And for those of you that are keeping the head steady and just moving the eyes, do 10 or so more. There we go. You know, I feel like it's fun to watch all of you because I feel like you all have gotten better at keeping your head steady for some of these visual exercises that we do. Yeah, which is really good. In the beginning, I saw some cheating where the head was moving a little bit. Okay, awesome. Okay, good. So coming back to the center. Okay, we're all going to do the same thing now. So folks who are blind or visually impaired, really working some of that vestibular work. So you're going to hold the ball out in front of you, straight arms. If it's easier for you to use your thumb, or if it's easier for you to just use objects around the room, you can do that too. Otherwise, keeping the ball in front of you, and we're going to do the same thing that I was just describing. So you're going to keep your eyes, lock your eyes on a letter or a number that you see, and draw a big circle with that ball in front of you. We're working on something called gaze stabilization. So your eyes are locking on an object as the background is moving around you. Move slow if you're new to this. Do an even number of circles in each direction. And if you get dizzy or nauseous, pause and take a break and close the eyes. If you feel like you can make it harder, then go faster. Move the ball in a faster circle around you. But again, make sure that you're doing an even number of circles in both directions. Yeah, so you're maybe aiming for like 10 to 20, maybe even 30 circles in each direction. It depends on where you're at with some of this work. Uh-huh. Once you've gotten, I see a thumbs up from Sami. I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. I'm not sure. If you have a question, let me know, and you can type into the chat box or unmute yourself. No pressure. I just wanted to make sure I'm not missing any questions. Yeah, okay, good. When you've done an even-ish number in both directions, go ahead and relax. That looks really good though, everybody. Let's take a break. Go ahead and put your letter ball down. And let's just find a little bit of spinal mobility to help reset the body. Okay, so let's come into something I call ragdoll. So I want you to let your hands dangle just down by your side, off of your lap if you can. And you're just gonna find a side bend to your left. Okay, I want everything to hang heavy. I want your head to hang heavy, your arms to hang heavy like your ragdoll. You're gonna roll through the center. This isn't a full roll down. I'm basically just slouching my shoulders. Yep. And then pulling yourself over to the other side. So now you're in a side bend to the right. Yep. Ragdoll roll through the center. And then coming into a left side bend. Ragdoll roll through. Side bend right. Ragdoll roll through. Side bend left. Exhale to roll. Inhale, side bend. Exhale to roll. Inhale, side bend. Just really nice, moving at your own pace. Let everything be heavy here. Stay within a range of motion that feels comfortable for you. And then pull yourself all the way up to the center on this next one. And then find a nice, slow, heavy ragdoll roll all the way down to the floor, or as close to it as you can. Pause when you get to the bottom. Hold there and just take a few breaths into the back of your ribs. Good. I'm going to have you find that same hum that we did in the beginning of class to roll yourself back up. So when you're ready, take an inhale and then exhale, roll yourself back up. Coming up, stacking tall, keep humming. Take an inhale only when you need to, and exhale, hum your way back down. Pausing for a couple seconds at the bottom and hum your way back up. One more. Maybe find a different note. Can you hum a higher note? Just challenging your voice in a different way. Pausing for a couple seconds at the bottom and humming your way to roll back up. Okay, good. Go and relax at the top. Give everything a little bit of a shake. You can shake your legs if you're standing. Awesome. Okay. I just want to do one set of, let me get my pencil here, one set of the pencil push-ups, and then we're going to work on some coordinating pattern type of work. Okay, so for those of you that normally take your glasses off for this, go ahead and remove your glasses. Remember, you're removing your glasses if you can see the pencil at arm's distance in front of you without that pencil being blurry at arm's distance. Okay, everybody else, don't worry. For example, I have my contacts in, I leave my contacts in, it's not a big deal. Okay, if you know what you're doing, you're gonna go right into this. If you don't know what you're doing, I'm gonna walk you through it. So the tip of the pencil is lined up directly in between my two eyes. I pull that pencil slowly in towards my face. It's okay if the pencil goes blurry, but if I start to see two pencils, I pull it away from my face. I pull it into my face the second I start to see two pencils. If I do, I pull it away from my face. The faster the pencil moves, the harder your eyes have to work. But I only want you to see one pencil the whole time. One pencil the whole time. For standing athletes, if you want to make this more challenging, you can either do this while balancing on one leg. You can do this while having your feet in a tight rope, so one foot directly in front of the other. Or for seated athletes, if you want to make this harder, you're going to be moving your head around, similar to what we did with the ball. Okay, your head can move in any direction you want as you're doing the pencil push-up. As you're doing the pencil push-up, yeah. Okay, for folks who are, yeah, keep going. If you start to get dizzy or nauseous, as always, take a break. For folks who are blind or visually impaired, we're just going to bring this a little bit more into neck work. So I'm going to have you grab both of your pencils, holding your pencils out into a T. Okay, so arms are out into a T. You're going to turn your head and neck, looking at the left pencil, turn your head and neck, nose points at the right pencil, nose points at the left, nose points at the right. If you are a standing athlete that is blind or visually impaired, and you're able to balance on one leg, I want you to try doing that as you turn your nose to each pencil. Maybe do 10 to 15 standing on each leg. Yeah, okay, we've got a bunch of variations here. I'll maybe give you like 30 more seconds to finish wherever you are. Yeah, really nice, everybody. Yeah, I see some people trying to balance. Awesome. All right, last few seconds here. Okay, and go ahead and relax. Great. Feel free to set the pencils down. Okay, so just coming into, I'm just thinking how I want to layer this on. Coming into some coordinated movement here. Okay, I'm going to do something slightly different for my seated and my standing athletes, just to challenge balance differently. Oops, sorry, keep hitting this. Okay, so for seated athletes, I'm gonna have you find taking left arm out to the side of your body. Okay, it can be a straight arm or a bent arm. It's gonna be harder with a straight arm. And I want you to find a vertical, I want you to find the number 8. So a vertical infinity sign. Okay, keep going with that. For my standing athletes, if you're able to, balancing on one leg, you're gonna find a, a number 8, or again, like a horizontal infinity sign with one of your legs. So balancing and doing this with your other leg. Okay, so everybody's got a good pattern, staying with that. Okay, let me make sure I get into the pattern before I tell you what's next. Okay, for all athletes, you're going to take your other hand and you're going to put it at the top of your head. Yeah, and then you're going to bring it to your belly. And then you're going to bring it to your chest. Okay, head, belly, chest. Head, belly, chest. And you're trying to keep the figure 8 of your either your same side arm or your same side leg. Head, belly, chest. Head, belly, chest. Head, belly, chest. Yes, these exercises are definitely humbling. Stay with that same pattern. I'm not going to make it more complicated because this one is actually quite challenging for the brain. I'm just going to watch people here. Okay, okay, go ahead and everybody relax. If you can switch sides, I'm going to have you switch sides. Seated athletes, find that number 8 or vertical infinity sign. Standing athletes, go ahead and find the same thing with your foot and your leg. So you're balancing on the other leg now. If you need to hold on to a wall, feel free to hold on to a wall or a doorway. Okay, if this is hard enough for you here, if keeping this pattern with either your arm or your leg is hard enough for you, just stay right there. Okay, let's add on, let's see, wait, sorry. Let me sit before I have to, okay. So I'm gonna do the seated version verse. Okay, so other hand is gonna come to your head. Other hand is gonna come to your belly. Other hand comes to your chest. Head, belly, chest. Head, belly, chest. Head, belly, chest. Oops, belly, chest. Head, belly, chest. Okay, if that felt like going from 1 to 60, I'm going to give you another option where you can just go head, belly, head, belly, head, belly. And if that feels more realistic, then go ahead and do that. Diane, I don't know if you left already, but it was good to have you in class. We'll see you next time. Yep. Okay, good. Maybe do one more and then go ahead and relax. Okay. Give the legs, give the arms a really big shake. If you had water on your arms and you were trying to get every last drop off, can you let your lips go? Do that one more time. Good. Okay, we'll come back to a seated or standing grounded position. Just gonna have you tilt the head to the left. And then tilt to the right. Good, one more time left. And one more time right. Okay, good. Coming back to the center. We'll close the eyes. We'll just find that box breathing just for a few more breaths here. Remember, if this box breathing is too hard for you, you could always decrease from 4 seconds to maybe 3 or 2 seconds. So you have that option too if you want to count yourself out. Okay, so when you're ready, take an inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold, 3, 2, 1. Exhale and hold. Inhale, hold, exhale, and hold. One more. Inhale, hold, exhale, and hold. Good. Take an inhale, resume to normal breathing. Just noticing how your breath is feeling, your chest, your mid-back, and your low back. And then think of one thing you're grateful for today. We'll take one more inhale, one more exhale, and we'll open the eyes. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining today, everybody. Just as a reminder, before I forget, I'll be teaching another workshop through NorCal SCI. I'm going to drop the link down in the chat box here, and this is going to be next Thursday, so a week from today, 5 p.m. Pacific time. The topic for the workshop is, it's called Get Grounded, How Your Hands and Feet Affect Movement. As always, these workshops are geared more for folks with spinal cord injuries, but like I always say, these are techniques and movements that I practice myself, that we practice in this class, and that I practice with all of my clients of all ages and all abilities. So it's widely applicable, and we'll be talking about like sensory awareness for your hands and feet, how to stretch it, how to mobilize, how to strengthen, and then just a little bit about working up the chain, like how the forearm, the wrist, the elbow can also affect the hands and the feet, and likewise the feet. So let me grab that link. I'll stick around if anyone's got questions.